November 1st, I'm Lauren Barnes.
And I'm Joe Morano. Plenty to get to as you wake up out of your sugar coma.
November
right?
1st, you know what that means. Time to put the Christmas tree up.
Everyone says it. Don't do it. Did you hear that voice? That was Elisa chiming in right now.
I really like the turkey to have his day. Like, put up Thanksgiving decorations.
But it works.
No, I'm not, but I will put it up before Thanksgiving because it's a lot of work, and I want to admire it for more than 3.5 weeks.
I can respect that. I won't put mine up until December 1st, which actually this year, with Thanksgiving being so late, it is the same weekend, so.
Very true.
I mean.
She said right before the show she was going to do this to get the reaction, and it definitely worked. Good job.
We're all awake now.
We are all awake, and how's everything looking outside is what we all want to know, because this time yesterday it was rough out there.
Yeah, cold again today. Cold again this morning. Today will be warmer, but still below average. Okay. Kind of, you know, taking what we can, right? We've got another freeze warning in effect this morning for our northern Arkansas counties. That goes until 9 a.m., where the growing season may not have ended yet. So, again, that freeze warning until 9 a.m. Remember the plants and the pets. We've got some clear skies out there this morning, but it is cold, 27 degrees in Springfield on south winds at 7 miles per hour. So temperatures are actually trending a little bit colder than yesterday. It's 27 in Springfield, 32 in Branson, and 25 at Lake of the Ozarks. Winds are out of the south. Those south winds will help us warm up today. But this morning, they're putting wind chills in the teens again. It feels like 19 in Springfield. So bundle up the kiddos. Make sure they've got hats and gloves again. Even you will want some gloves on those cold steering wheels. Dry roads as we head through the afternoon. No traffic hazards. Lots of sunshine through dismissal. Temperatures warmer, but still below average. 54 degrees, that cool sunshine today. For those football games tonight, bring blankets. Temperatures in the 40s under clear skies, getting to 40 degrees by halftime. Joe, Lauren.
New for you this morning, the Springfield Fire Department responded to a house fire overnight on West Elm Street. When firefighters arrived, there were flames coming from the back of the home and through the roof, but it was still handled fairly quickly.
It's a little bit of construction, the way it had been built, that limited our access to the flames up in the attic, but we found a way around it fairly quickly and still had a fairly quick knockdown on it.
The fire marshal will be investigating this incident. There were no injuries, and neighbors reported no one currently living in the home.
Springfield police need your help this morning finding a missing and endangered teen. Destiny Phil has not been seen since 6 a.m. yesterday morning when she left her home without her medication. Police say she suffers from multiple personality disorder and is schizophrenic and suicidal. Destiny is an 18-year-old white woman, 5'3" with brown eyes. She was last seen wearing a black hooded sweatshirt with Alabama Roll Tide on it. If you see Destiny or have information on where she may be, you should immediately call 911.
We have some good news for you this morning. The Skaggs Legacy Endowment Awards were held yesterday in Branson. Over $1 million were granted to 24 different Stone and Taney County agencies.
Our Hannah Zettel was there and brings us a recap of some of the projects those grants will fund.
Well, that's right. That money will impact the lives of over 46,000 people in that area, all with a focus on improving health and wellness.
This marks our 7th annual Skaggs Legacy Endowment Awards event.
The Skaggs Legacy Endowment awarded grants to a variety of local agencies.
I'm a business owner, and we know there's just so many good organizations to give to.
The thread tying them all together, community wellness.
But they always stay focused on the one thing, and that is the health of our communities.
With over $185,000 distributed, agencies aiding mental health were awarded the most funding.
Currently, we're serving between 500 and 600 students within the districts across Stone and Taney counties.
Elizabeth Avery is VP of Youth Services at Burrell Behavioral Health. The $120,000 awarded will fund mental health services for schools.
80% of kids who get mental health services are going to get them at school. Because it's a location they're familiar with, they're comfortable with, it's typically within their own community.
Causes combating substance abuse go hand in hand with mental health services.
It should be as normal as going to the doctor for a cold.
Marietta Hagan coordinates the substance use initiative in these counties and has seen progress in empowering people to talk about the issue.
So the dialogue in the community, letting the people who are struggling with this know that they're valued, that they're a person, that we as the community support them, is the most important part to me.
And you might have noticed the awarded participants were handed apples. The Skaggs Foundation considers the fruit to be an icon of health, generosity, and concern for others. All in all, a good fit for the Legacy Endowment.
Hannah Zettel reporting this morning. At times, the Greene County court system has gotten backlogged with hundreds of cases, but the county has added a new circuit judge to help relieve that issue. Judge Becky Borthwick is moving from the associate side to the circuit court, and she is now the 6th circuit judge for the county. Borthwick is currently transitioning into that role, but she tells Color 10 that she expects to hit the ground running to help ease some of the congestion.
Greene County really has become an urban court with urban problems, but yet we still didn't have that extra circuit judge position. And so we were feeling the squeeze everywhere. I do anticipate at least having a partial or maybe all criminal docket, and I do think having one more circuit judge will help with that.
Borthwick addressed a number of topics in the court system. If you'd like to hear more of what she had to say, you can check out this story on ozarksfirst.com.
We put crime into focus for you now. 2 more people have pleaded guilty to their roles in a drug trafficking and money laundering conspiracy. Cassidy Clayton and Ginger Huerta admitted to moving meth from California to the Springfield area. Both said they distributed the drug to dealers, and multiple trips were made between 2016 and 2018. They also are said to have wired money made from the drugs to others in California and Mexico. Both are facing minimum sentences of 10 years in prison. 7 others involved in this ring have also pleaded guilty.
Today, this man accused of walking into a West Springfield grocery store with guns and a tactical vest will be in court. 2 months ago, 21-year-old Dmitry Andreychenko pleaded not guilty to making a terrorist threat. Officers arrested him after he walked into a Walmart neighborhood market with an AR-style rifle. He told police he was testing his Second Amendment rights. Andreychenko will attend a criminal hearing this morning. Dee Wampler represents him and believes the judge will give him a good outcome.
Mr. Andreychenko has done some training, he's done some community service, and he's here on a green card, and we don't want him deported. He's wanting to be a good American, and he did something stupid that was not good timing.
Wampler adds that the prosecutor is still looking at security footage and police reports. Color 10 will have a camera in the courtroom later today. We'll bring you any new developments.
We have a courageous conversation for you this morning as we look at an increase of mass violence in our country over the past decade, and an examination of the root of the problem is an important place to start. Now, many issues in a boy's life can come up during a child's formative years, but preventing that from happening is possible with the influence of positive father figures. Paul Windish is spending Halloween with his 9-year-old son, Hayden. It's just one of many traditions they enjoy together.
It has been the biggest blessing I've ever had. He's my whole world.
Fatherhood is a responsibility he's not taking lightly.
The statistics are staggering of how children, as they get older into their teens, the path that they go down if they don't have a father in their life who is fully engaged.
The U.S. Census Bureau says those growing up without a father figure are more likely to face bigger risks of behavioral problems, including being more prone to crime. Paul works with the local organization Good Dads, which puts an emphasis on fathers being more present in their kids' lives.
It's for all dads. I mean, it's not just the dad that's not in the home. It is for the dad who is the workaholic dad. And that was me for a long time in the beginning of his life. I would work a lot of hours, come home, and I was never really fully engaged.
Dr. Jennifer Baker founded the organization after realizing there's a need to help assist fathers to be the best they can.
Some research indicates that fathers are more helpful than mothers in regulating their child's emotional affect, or the way their child regulates their emotions.
Whether it's fathers who don't live in the same home or frequently work out of town, Good Dads offers several different options to help families that may have unusual circumstances.
It's just, fathers are so important in the lives of their children, and especially their boys. A dad being there, helping them understand what it's like to be a man, and being confident in oneself, being proud, those kinds of things are much more likely to happen if a dad is present in his son's life in a positive way.
Want to check it out?
Paul is grateful for the mission statement from Good Dads and wants to set a precedent for the future for more than just he and Hayden.
We're changing things for generations if we do it right. If we engage with our children the right way and we spend quality time with them and we raise them the right way, we're impacting generations, because hopefully that's going to go on with him and his family.
I've never met a child who did not want a good relationship with his or her father. That desire to know that my dad is thinking about me, my dad cares about me, and he wants to know if I'm okay. Children really want that.
And coming to you Sunday night, Nigel McDonald will show us the positive influence of a group of engaged fathers can have on each other when we continue our Courageous Conversation series with everyone's child.
Still ahead on Daybreak, the McDonald's Happy Meal turns 40.
Everyone's had one, right? At some point.
Oh,
the
yeah.
restaurant is offering a special version to celebrate. That's up next in your Money Watch.
From Color 10 Ozarks First, Lauren Barnes, Joe Morano, and weather with meteorologist Elisa Raffa. This is Color 10 News Daybreak. And now weather with meteorologist Elisa Raffa.
It was cold out there yesterday. Many of us stayed in the upper 30s and lower 40s. Even with the sunshine coming out, we got stuck at 41 degrees in Springfield, much below the average of 64. Could you imagine a day at 64 degrees? Well, we were just 2 degrees shy of that record cold high, which stands at 39 degrees from 1993. And man, was it a topsy-turvy month. Remember when we started October on the 1st and 2nd when temperatures at 90 degrees and warmer? We were 2 degrees shy of record heat both of those days. Then we started the last day of the month with our first snowflakes, and we were 2 degrees shy of record cold. That record was in jeopardy yesterday. So a really incredible month, how we started out very summer-like. We had like about a week of fall, and then boom, we hit the last week and a half has really felt like winter. The month wound up being cool, 2.6 degrees below average, because that extreme cold outweighed the extreme heat that we had earlier in the month. Now, it was also an incredibly wet month. We had many days with near and over an inch of rain through that second week of the month, and then again the last week and a half was pretty wet. So the total for the month is over 8 inches in Springfield. That is over 4.5 inches above average. That puts the month of October at the 6th wettest October on record. Again, we got over 8 inches. We're running 4.5 inches wet for the month, which means we've got 227% of normal, more than double the month's worth of rain. So just again, incredibly wet month of October. This morning, we're starting out cold again. Freeze warnings in effect for northern Arkansas until 9 a.m. where that growing season might still be going on. People, pets, plants, and pipes all need to be protected. It is 27 degrees in Springfield, 25 at Lake of the Ozarks, and 32 in Branson. Winds are out of the south, about 5 miles per hour, putting some wind chills in the teens this morning. So make sure you bundle up the kiddos. And we're not alone. Look at these wind chills. Much of the nation freezing this morning with those wind chills in the teens and 20s. Just pretty cold out there. We've got high pressure to the south, and with it to our south, that's kicking southerly winds across the Ozarks, and those southerly winds will help us warm up today. Still not at average. We're still going to be below average, but not nearly as cold as yesterday. That's because we're taking our very cold air mass that we had yesterday, passing it off to the east, and bringing in that warmer air mass through the day today. So hour by hour, lots of sunshine. Temperatures in the middle 50s, still 10 degrees below average, but much warmer than yesterday. A cold night tonight, dropping to 31 degrees under clear skies. Temperatures chilly tomorrow. We switch winds to the north, so even with sunshine, we get stuck in the upper 40s, 48 degrees for our Saturday. We stay chilly pretty much through the next 7 days. We warm up on Sunday back into the 50s, but again, that's still below the average. We keep temperatures mild in the 50s and 60s through early next week, but again, not really hitting that average of 64. A couple of light freezes this weekend with those temperatures in the lower 30s. So again, keep remembering those plants. 54 degrees today, sunny and warmer, but still on the cool side of things. 31 overnight, clear skies and cold. 48 degrees tomorrow, chilly, chilly sunshine. The sun will be deceiving. It's going to be pretty chilly. Also, by tomorrow night, you get an extra hour of sleep. Those clocks go back. While you're changing the clocks, check the smoke detectors and the NOAA weather radios. Again, that sunset will also come earlier as we head into early next week. The sun will set around 5:15. Sunshine all weekend, pretty quiet outside of the chilly day on Saturday, warmer on Sunday, quiet early next week. Rain chances return by Wednesday.
Wall Street lost ground on Thursday. The Dow dropped 140 points. The Nasdaq gave back about 12, and the S&P 500 slipped 9 points after hitting record highs twice this week. The October jobs report is due today, and it's expected to be weaker than normal. The slowing economy and trade war with China are partially to blame. The biggest hit, though, expected to come from the nearly month-and-a-half General Motors strike. That alone is expected to have taken more than 50,000 workers off the payroll. There's more trouble for WeWork's ousted CEO Adam Neumann. His former chief of staff has filed a federal discrimination complaint against Neumann and the company, saying she was demoted for becoming pregnant, then marginalized and ultimately fired. WeWork says it will vigorously defend itself against the claim. And McDonald's is going old school in celebrating the Happy Meal's 40th birthday. From November 7th through 11th, special limited surprise Happy Meals will be offered with retro toys inside. The official lineup will include 17 of the most popular toys from the last 4 decades, from the Hamburglar to McNugget characters to Furby. And that's your CBS Money Watch report. For more, head to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Diane King Hall.
I don't know if that's going to get kids eating it. I think that'll get parents ordering more Happy Meals,
Adults,
right?
nothing to make you feel old like calling Furbies vintage retro.
That's right.
I like it, though. Up next, we have some sports. The Royals find their new boss for 2020.
And he's a former St. Louis Cardinal. Mike Matheny joins the club. The details up next.
Thursday came with big news for Kansas City fans. The Royals named their new manager, and it's a name KC fans were probably expecting, and most St. Louis fans know all too well. That's right, Mike Matheny, the previous Redbird manager, is now at the helm of the Kansas City Royals. He replaces Ned Yost, who retired after this past season. Matheny was .591 and .474 in 7 years with St. Louis. After being fired, he served this season as an advisor of player development for the Royals. In Thursday's press conference, he said the past year has been all about learning and growing.
I feel that there are people that either grow or they're stuck. And for me, right away, just trying to be an honest evaluator where I was, try to get as much feedback as possible. I talk with Dayton a lot about, blind spots. I need to identify the blind spots, and so I don't make same mistakes twice, and whether that's tactically or whether it's relationally. I truly see something very, very special about to happen here, and I want to be a part of it. And so now, I'm ready to get to work.
And the Drury Lady Panthers tip off their quest for a national title today in California. Earlier this week, we said that they do it as the #2 team in the country, but after Thursday, we can move them on up to 1. Division II's coaches poll dropped, placing the Drury women as the #1 team in the country. The team that beat them in the semifinals last year, Lubbock Christian, comes in at 2. That's in contrast to Wednesday's SID poll that had Lubbock at 1 and Drury at 2. Lady Panthers tip off the season with the CCA Tip-Off Classic in California. Earlier this week, they talked about the importance of this trip for setting the season tone.
It's going to be a big, tough competition in California, but I think it's going to be a good eye-opener for us, and we'll see what we actually have.
We're going to play some good teams that are going to test us a lot early this season, and I think that that's what this team needs, is to be tested and to see how we persevere from that.
Something that's really good for us, we play 3 games in 3 days, and it's so early we can learn a lot about ourselves early. So we can come back here and kind of tweak and look at game film and understand where we need to improve, and that's going to be the advantage of California.
And it'll be a chilly game of the week tonight as 6-3 Union visits 7-2 Lebanon to kick off district football playoffs here in the Ozarks. I'm Matt Vereen with your Friday Morning Sports.
Oh yeah, I'm sure a lot of teams are happy they haven't played the last couple of days because this is the playoffs. No room for error. You want the weather on your side a little bit.
I don't know, how did that happen so fast? Playoffs already?
Yeah, it does come
You
quick.
said that to me this morning. I was like, really?
Right. Win or go home right now. So Dan Lucy and the guys will have all that coming up tonight. But everyone's watching the weather up until kickoff, right?
Yeah, grab the blankets for those games tonight. It's going to be cold. Starting out cold this morning with a freeze warning in effect in northern Arkansas where the growing season is still lingering. So that goes until 9 a.m. You need to protect the plants there. I mean, it's cold area-wide. Our growing season just ended a little bit sooner up in Springfield. It's 27 degrees right now with clear skies. It's 32 in Branson, 27 in Mountain Home, and 25 degrees at Lake of the Ozarks. Winds are out of the south this morning at about 5 to 10 miles per hour, putting wind chills in the teens at times. It feels like 19 degrees in Springfield right now, so make sure the kids have hats, gloves, and scarves. Even mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, as you're driving, you'll want gloves too. Those steering wheels will be pretty cold. We're looking at a grade of a D this morning because it's so cold. Not bad by dismissal, just still on the cool side. 54 degrees, warmer than yesterday and sunny. For those football games tonight, if you want to do some tailgating, just bring blankets. Temperatures in the middle 40s by kickoff, down to 40 degrees by halftime. So hour by hour, lots of sunshine today. Temperatures still below average in the middle 50s. Cold again tonight at 31 degrees, sunshine tomorrow, but north winds keep temperatures down in the 40s again, 48 degrees despite sunny skies. So if you want to do a corn maze this weekend, it will be dry, lots of sunshine both Saturday and Sunday, just a little bit chillier on Saturday, warmer on Sunday. If you're worried about the cold temperatures, go on Sunday. You also get an extra hour of sleep. The clocks go back this weekend. Don't forget to check and change the batteries and smoke detectors and NOAA weather radios as you change the clocks.
Up next, impeachment hearings could soon be made public.
We'll hear from the president and others about this issue when we come back here on Daybreak.
Welcome back to Daybreak. The House yesterday formalized the impeachment inquiry into President Trump with a historic vote that went down almost entirely along party lines. This will allow for public testimony to take place, which could happen within the next few weeks. Laura Podesta reports for us this morning.
The yeas are 232.
All but 2 House Democrats voted for a rules package guiding the next steps in the impeachment inquiry. The investigation's hearings will go public, possibly beginning this month, and documents gathered over weeks of closed-door depositions led by 3 bipartisan House committees could be made public as early as next week.
I think they will see facts that cause them great concern about the president abusing the power of his office.
Democratic lawmakers accuse President Trump of asking Ukraine's president to investigate the Biden family in exchange for military aid during a July phone call. The president has said many times the call was perfect. In a British radio interview yesterday, he bragged about his strong Republican support.
I didn't have one negative Republican vote, which is a very unusual thing.
But you've been through...
Not one negative Republican vote.
On The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi questioned why, considering that for weeks the Republicans have been demanding the process be made public.
You would have thought that the Republicans would all vote for it because it gave them more rights than we ever received in any of the other impeachment proceedings.
Yep. Republicans will now have the right to request their own witnesses, though Democrats can override those proposals. Mr. Trump's lawyers will also get to access evidence and the chance to cross-examine witnesses. Laura Podesta, CBS News.
The White House is calling the entire process a, quote, blatantly partisan attempt to destroy the president. Today, an assistant to the president and senior advisor to acting chief of staff Mick Mulvaney is scheduled for a deposition.
Bottom of the hour here on Daybreak. Attorney General Eric Schmidt is warning the public about a tech support scam.
And what to do if you find out your house is sitting above a sinkhole. Lots of those across the Ozarks. Both those stories in just a few minutes.
Good morning. My name is Jordan. I go to Sunshine Elementary School. Today is November 1st and the lunch menu is cheese pizza, grilled cheese sandwich, steamed broccoli, fresh cucumber slices, and diced peaches.
Welcome back to Daybreak on this Friday morning. It's officially November. I'm Lauren Barnes.
And I'm Joe Morano, as everyone is still coming off that Halloween high. right?
The candy high?
Yeah, that's what you got to do. I'm on a big group chat with my family, and my uncle was saying yesterday, I didn't know that he did this, he gives out candy to the kids and beer to the adults. No walk with the kids.
Wow, a block party.
That's the cool house right there, right?
No kidding, yeah. Forget the king-size candy bars. That's the place to be.
Very nice. Elisa Rapid joins us this morning. It wouldn't be, I mean, it was probably tough walking around with a beverage last night if you were up here, though, right? He lives down in Florida.
Oh, that makes more sense.
Would he let us come trick-or-treating by his house?
That's where you got to go.
Yeah.
You got to go down there to find him.
Yeah, it was pretty cold for those kids last night. Starting out cold again this morning, and today will be warmer, but still not average. It's like baby steps, trying to get there a little bit.
Eventually, but sunny this weekend, too.
Yeah, quiet all weekend, lots of sunshine. Starting out with another freeze warning in northern Arkansas, where the growing season is still hanging around. It goes until 9 a.m., so just remember those plants, this could be that killing freeze for them down in northern Arkansas. We are at 27 degrees in Springfield with clear skies and south winds. Temperatures actually trending a little bit cooler in spots this morning. It is 32 in Branson, 26 degrees in Harrison, and 29 in Mountain Grove. Winds are out of the south. They'll eventually help us today, but for this morning, it's putting wind chills at 19 degrees in Springfield. So make sure the kids are bundled up, hats, gloves, scarves. Dig those out of the closet again. The kids will need them on their way to work and school. Dry roads through the afternoon. I don't expect any weather hazards today. Again, just a little bit chilly to start. 54 degrees by dismissal. Warmer than yesterday, but still below average. Take blankets to those football games tonight. Temperatures will be chilly in the 40s through the game. Joe, Lauren.
Imagine finding out your house is sitting on top of a sinkhole. Then what are you supposed to do? Color 10 spoke with Missouri State University's geology professor, Dr. Doug Guzay, who specializes in land formations. He recently conducted a study called Predicting Future Disasters. In that, he says Southwest Missouri has a lot of sinkholes, and currently there's about 1,400 known sinkholes just in Greene County. About 60% of land underneath Missouri is limestone, and it dissolves easily in water. Usually water seeps through a crack somewhere, which starts getting more water into the limestone.
When it goes through the crack, it will dissolve and widen out until eventually maybe you get a cave or something like that. I call them sometimes micro caves, things just big enough for a salamander or some critter to go through. And the water will just keep widening that up, and as it does that, it also washes the soil in.
And if you find out there's a sinkhole starting to form, the conditions must already exist underneath the ground. The weight of the structure does not actually play a role in the creation of a sinkhole.
If that's happening underneath your land, you'll just keep seeing the soil sink and sink and sink, and eventually you might want to find a way to divert the water, the rainwater, from draining in there. And so that helps most people.
If you want to read the entire study, sounds pretty interesting, look for it on our free Color 10 News app.
Now onto a consumer watch for you that we want to tell you about. Attorney General Eric Schmidt is warning the public about an Apple tech support scam that will play a message saying someone's iCloud account has been compromised. Here's an example.
This is Molly from Apple Support. We have found some suspicious activities in your iCloud account, that your iCloud account has been breached. Before using any Apple device, please contact Apple Support Advisor. Press 1. To connect with Apple Support Advisor, press 2.
Now, the AG's office says it is seeing a rise in live callers trying to scam just Missourians with something similar. The Attorney General is recommending that you hang up on those calls immediately. Well, stay with us. We'll be right back with more Daybreak in a few minutes.